tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to AfterBuzz TV. We are covering here the original Season 2, Episode 11, Brotherhood of the Damned. I am your host, Roxy Striar. You can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar alongside Katie Campbell.
Hello. You can find me on Twitter at Katie Campbell. That's Katie with 3 E's.
And the beautiful, wonderful Tiona Hobson.
Hello. Oh, you can find me on Twitter at Tiona Hobson. Forgot we were doing that part.
Great memory, girlfriend.
And I'm on the chat right now on YouTube, so
great segue that was there, T. We right now are streaming live on YouTube, so if you're watching us later on in the week, I'm telling you that we are here on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so you guys can join in, you can chat with us. Tiana is our resident chat roller. I thought we were going to think of a name for you.
Oh, yeah, you forgot.
Yeah, I did. But if you want, you can talk to us live then. As always, you can find us on youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV or on iTunes or on SoundCloud. Wherever you are, remember to rate, comment, subscribe. We love everything you guys have to say. We read all of your comments and, of course, tweet at us at AfterBuzzTV. We are now using the hashtag ABTV Originals. So if you're using that hashtag, we will find your comment and we will make sure that we either read it or talk about it or whatever it is. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Let's get into the episode, guys. What did you think? I know the chat roll's loving the episode, so what were your guys' opinions?
Oh, I should turn off the volume of my computer first. On the chat roll.
You're really bringing your A game tonight,
I'm on it today.
Really bringing it.
I was very excited about this episode. I thought that it moved at a good pace. It was action-filled in a way where, I watched it at work again. Don't tell my boss.
You did a second time screening?
Twice?
No, I watched it for the first time and second time at work today.
Okay.
I think I'm a little worried about you. I'm not sure, though.
I was just very excited during the episode. I was, trying to keep my excitement about what I was watching internal because I didn't want my coworkers to see me going ah! Having big reactions, because then they'd be like, oh, you're clearly not listening to Taylor Swift right now, you're watching TV.
Yeah, you could just say, I just made us a lot of money.
Yeah.
Whatever
like that.
Katie, what did you think of tonight?
I enjoyed the parts where Finn, he put them in that little cabin. I really liked that whole thing and the animals that described each of the siblings. That was really spot on, I thought.
You were into the, what do they call, what kind of magic was that? I feel like we have so many different kinds of magic now. The representative magic or
representational
magic. That was really, really interesting to me too. It was definitely one of my favorite parts. And I just want to start off by talking about it because I thought it was so different and cool. So here's the deal. If I was hanging out with somebody and all of a sudden they dropped down to the ground, pretty freaked out, right?
Yeah.
Nobody was that freaked out. They were like, oh, this again. Davina's slapping Klaus in the face. She's like, wake up, wake up. No thought at any point crossed her mind, something could be wrong here, until Camille called. Did you guys find that strange?
What I felt was strange about that is that 2 seconds earlier she just said, she talked about representational magic when she was trying to figure out where Finn was. She's like, he's using these things and he's doing representational magic. And then all of a sudden when he passed out, she didn't think about that 2 seconds later?
She is young.
I guess.
What is she now, 17? She's still a minor? Oh, gosh. She's got to be 18 now, right? Because she's got the cold thing going on.
Let's hope.
Okay, Originals. Getting a little risque for us.
But, how old is the body that Cole took over? Maybe he's a 17-year-old, too.
He's also 1,000, so I don't know at what point that cancels out.
I don't either, but I thought that the representational magic was an interesting way to go with things, and I do like what we discovered while we were under, I guess. But I did find it a little strange that people weren't as quick to figure out what had happened. Not that they weren't concerned.
Because you were not as quick. Were you imitating them, or
it was mostly me trying to remember the word.
I think I'm bullying you a little bit.
You
tonight.
are. You're picking on me, and it's making me flustered.
I'm the Finn to your Klaus. Oh, why do you get to be Klaus?
I get to be Klaus.
Can I be Elijah?
I saved it for you, babe.
Thank you.
I know. Well, it's because usually, when we also cover Vampire Diaries, the three of us, and when we do that show, I pick on you a little more, so I feel like I just have to show my hate somewhere else sometimes.
Okay, that's what's happening here.
Yeah, it's the bullying. Mm-hmm. Sorry about it. All right, so anyway, whatever it is, the people's reactions around, we end up in this land that is... I'm not a fan of dead animals on the wall in general. That just to me is kind of a little creepy. I know that a lot of people, hunters, whatever, they have this, but it sets up, like when they were cornered by all their animals, an interesting dynamic. What did you guys think about the animals that were picked for each character, though? Because I thought that was really interesting how they decided that, or at least how they initially decided that.
I loved it.
So what do we have? I know, Katie, you have that down. We talked about the four of them.
Klaus is a big bad wolf. We have Elijah as the noble stag. Mm-hmm. Cole is the wily fox, and then Finn is the boar.
Just the boar.
Just
why would anybody make themselves the boar? Like what's going on in your head?
My question in this scene was, did Finn do that intentionally, or is it just how Klaus decided to interpret it? Maybe it was a subconscious thing that Finn did when he was creating this space, was that he had these animal heads up there and accidentally made himself the boar.
I think it was very planned, because if it wasn't planned, then it wouldn't have been able to crumble the way that it crumbled, In order to set up this magic, you have to be meticulous in these ways. And so if he hadn't picked every animal, then the fact that they realized they weren't those animals wouldn't have mattered.
He had to put himself in there as well so he could be in among them.
As a boar.
Yeah.
So I don't even really...
But, maybe there's like another meaning for a boar in a spiritual way where it's actually, not a boar.
If we have any animal lovers out there that know what a boar spiritually could mean, hashtag ABTV originals, please.
Yeah, because I just don't see Finn making himself something that he didn't think was great.
Yeah,
and that he hadn't thought
like
of.
That's a lion.
Why, and that's why I think part of it was a subconscious decision that he didn't actually intend to make.
All right, but in all fairness, I'm going back on what I just said a little bit, because you can't have a lion head on your wall. How many animals can you really... Can you?
Maybe.
I don't think so.
Well, why can't you?
I don't know. How'd you kill the lion?
That's a great story, which is why you have the head on your wall.
I feel like it's way easier to kill the boar. No. And, okay.
Maybe the boar is just that he stood by his mother.
Yeah, for a little bit, until he started using her.
Well, until she went back on her word and started being wishy-washy.
I'm glad you brought that up, actually, though, because last week we were talking a lot about what exactly he was doing with his parents in this chalk outline. Mm. And you guys at home were awesome and reminded us all about Papa Tunde and what he had done with Rebecca. So I don't even really know exactly how the magic works or how he's drawing the power, but we have seen it before. So great recall from you guys. But anyway.
Sorry to interrupt you, Roxy.
Yeah, you go.
Validoscope West in the chat roll just said that aren't boars kind of mean and vicious? So maybe that's why boar was chosen for Finn, because he thinks himself to be mean and vicious.
Do you think he thinks he is? Do mean people know they're mean? I guess I knew I was being mean tonight.
I think he's trying to do what's right in his mind, and I don't even know if he knows that he went and crossed the line into this kind of craziness.
Yeah.
And then Angela Lulu just said that the boar doesn't have many predators. It was like the top of the food chain type of thing.
Oh, interesting.
So that's a good take on it,
so
too.
It would be more powerful than I would expect.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't have a lot of people that are going to be coming after him, because he's just going to coast around, easy breezy, beautiful. Cover girl.
They'll huff and they'll puff and they'll blow the house down.
Yeah.
Big bad wolf. What? All right, great comments, guys. Thank you in the chat roll. And again, make sure you guys are commenting there if you are joining us live on YouTube. So anyway, back to the fact that we're in this room and stories are being exchanged like crazy. Weird little things. I kind of feel like Cole's the odd man out here, even though it should be Finn. Everyone seems to be hating on Cole. Do you guys think that it's justified that Elijah and Klaus are mad at Cole based on everything plus Rebecca?
Yeah, they want to know what happened to Rebecca, and they like Rebecca more. She's been there throughout the years. She's not so, I don't know, for herself. Yeah, she wants these things in life, and she makes some silly decisions, in my opinion, sometimes, but she's more true to them than Cole has been in the past, and him just locking her away and not even saying what happened to her. They're mad.
I just feel like, what is he gaining by not explaining what happened with Rebecca? Why can't he just say, guys, I was playing a stupid prank. Here's where she is. We can get her out with this magic. Let's go do this, or something like that. Or is he not capable of getting her out? Why doesn't he just want to? The suffering's gone on long enough, you know?
I don't think he's capable of getting her out just because Klaus was the one who kind of created that space, you know, after
the purgatory.
The purgatory type of place. So I think that it's his way. His siblings, Rebecca was part of the crew that put him away in a coffin for, you know, however many years he was asleep in that thing. And there's just a lot of pin-up things, and Cole's after, you know, the end game for himself. If he brings Rebecca back, then that's another ally for Klaus. And his goal with Davina is to find a way to delink everyone and kill Klaus. So
T, you mentioned his end game, but what exactly would end game be then? Is he trying to take down each sibling? Is that end game?
No, he wants to take down Klaus, and he can't do that if Klaus has his
Rebecca?
siblings there holding him back up.
Well, I think him putting her there is more of a getting even for 100 years ago, and I don't really think he cares about bringing her back. He doesn't know. I don't think even Klaus may know how to get people out of there. I think, honestly, what's going to bring people out of there is Freya or whoever was in the coffin of last week's episode.
I was kind of surprised we didn't see anything from Freya or Rebecca or Cassie at all.
But I was kind of glad that we didn't.
Oh, really?
Only because with what was happening tonight, I didn't want that story to be like a Hayley and Jackson story, where we're just kind of thrown in there and it's not a lot of it. And I felt like in last week's episode, they set up a lot, but it still wasn't that much. And I want an episode that was like last night's episode, where we got a lot of, what's his face? Marcel. I want that for what's happening in the house. And we wouldn't have got that this week.
I wanted more of that.
I needed it to be acknowledged, at least, I felt like, because it was such a big deal last week, and I was really excited about it. So even if it was the last 5 seconds of the episode or whatever, showing one more tidbit or one more piece of information, the fact that we didn't see it at all, I felt like there was a bit of a hole, because don't get me wrong, I loved a lot of tonight's episode. I loved a lot of it, but parts of it I just felt like, how could we not address this? You know?
Maybe they were just setting up something for Marcel in the future, because I think there's more story there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about what's going on with Marcel and Joe.
Yeah, which is why that was the focus for this episode, as opposed to like bringing in Rebecca. Maybe they're building something else for us.
All right. So I guess let's just talk a little bit about the Marcel Joe thing, because this was truly bizarre to me. And
wait, sorry. Before we go there, we have to talk about how Klaus forgave Elijah?
All right.
Because that was huge. I screamed. That was the moment when I was at my desk like, forgiveness! And everyone looked at me like I was crazy. And
Did you tell them you won the money?
I was like, I won the lotto. Don't worry, guys. It's cool. It's cool.
So everybody forgive me.
Yeah, everyone forgive me.
I was so excited about Elijah and how smart he is, and coming in to try to destroy this representational magic.
Do you have a bigger crush on him or on Stefan? Just curious.
Honestly, Stefan.
Yeah. All right, I get it. But yeah, I thought it was really, really cool too, actually, that he figured this out, how to take down this magic house.
Yes.
Interesting plot point that he knew to. He just had that much faith in his brother, I guess. Or did he think just taking himself down that it would take the whole place down.
I think that he thought it was taking himself down, but which Finn said, you telling him the truth makes you noble, makes you exactly who I thought you would be. I was like, well, then why didn't you just pull Finn aside, whisper it in his ear, and then Klaus didn't have to know?
Klaus would have been like, WTF.
Yeah.
You think Klaus would have just chilled there? Like, oh yeah, let me just have those two talk. Klaus would have, and then it would prove the point who Klaus was, because Klaus would have torn things up.
Yeah, but it would have taken Elijah down.
Like, I'm literally picturing, like, tap, tap, tap,
Secrets.
sidebar.
Like, hey, man, come here real quick.
Yeah, let me tell you a secret.
Yeah. And Klaus being
hang
like,
on.
yeah, no
Be cool,
problem.
be cool.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
You guys go. Yeah, no worries. I'll just sit
But
there.
that could have worked, right? In the sense of taking Elijah down.
No, because I think the whole point was they had to take both of them down.
And the other point was that Finn was getting very close to figuring out what truly has Klaus's heart, which isn't the city anymore. It's not Rebecca. He's done all these things, and then he says, you lost your daughter, and there's kind of a pause, and then that's when Elijah kind of comes in. So I think it was the only thing he could think of to get him away from thinking about Hope, to protect her.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is we're coming at this from so many different angles right now. Something is going to fall through at some place. Because at this point, too many people know. It's not just the originals anymore. Too many people know. Cammie's in on this now. People can compel people. And we've got the Hayley thing going on over there. We've got this, the Klaus thing going on over here with Finn. And also, we don't even know what's going on with Freya and what she knows and what's Esther's sister's name? Dahlia knows. We don't even know if Dahlia is a thing anymore. We know nothing about that part. So I just feel like we're coming at this from so many different directions. What's going to be the one that caves? How is this ultimately going to come out?
I think Hayley might say something to Jackson.
Because she's all high.
Yeah.
She's getting high on that.
That happy.
What is it?
Blue.
She's getting high on that blue stuff.
I forget.
Okay. I always feel like that comes up. I mean, we'll talk more about it later, but I just have to say, I feel like that comes up in a lot of different witchy things. Like, what is it that they're always smoking that makes them tell the truth?
Blue calamus.
Is that just a made-up plant?
Sure. I mean,
Where can I find truth serum?
I think it's called marijuana.
Truth serum? I don't know about that. I think if Hayley was smoking the marijuana, she'd be a little more paranoid and wouldn't say anything. Why'd you mention my baby? Why'd you say that? All right, but we're not talking about marijuana here on the Originals After Show anymore. Going back to the fact that, Klaus kind of shuts up when Finn says that there's something up. It was a little sketchy. I thought Klaus was going to think quicker and maybe say, Cammy.
You turned to me and you were like, Cammy.
Or I wanted him to say something to at least buy them some time. Because Finn knows he's smart and crazy.
He's going to figure it out.
He is. I mean, especially with the ending of that episode, I think he'll really figure it out. But we'll get to that part
Does
later.
Marcel know, though?
He was compelled to forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess you could compelled to remember.
A witch is involved.
Yeah.
We know that you can fight through, like, those things if you're really tortured and stuff enough.
Let's go over this. Who, at least at one point in time, knew? So, obviously, Hayley, Klaus, Elijah, Rebecca, Hope, guess she kind of counts,
Cammy.
Marcel, Cammy, and then all of the witches that were trying to kill the baby that didn't end up killing the baby.
No, they thought that the baby was dead.
They thought that the baby died.
They found a body and everything. They mourned in public that their child died, so everyone believed it.
Okay.
And everyone thinks that their child is gone, and the only person they let remember for a second was Marcel, just to get her to safety, and then they compelled him to forget.
Okay. Just too many people. We just named too many people.
But I mean, the people that you named were the parents and the uncle.
And the friends. Marcel counts as friend. I guess he counts as
Marcel,
family.
but then Cammy only just found out, and no one knows where she is.
Yeah, but she's a weakling.
No.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry.
Guys, how snooze fest has Cammy been the last two episodes, though?
I I think even Katie's admitting it a little bit.
Cammy has been so boring the last 2 episodes.
She hasn't had so much going on. I mean, for a while there, we were seeing her become this strong individual, standing up to Michael.
What is she doing right now? Is she a therapist?
Helping Elijah.
Yeah,
She's
but
in school.
Elijah didn't. No, I know she's in school, but she's talking to him about things that I feel like are way above her pay grade. Like he's like this red door, which is a metaphor, and she's giving advice. And I get that she's a human, can give advice, but she's talking like she's had her degree for 20 years. You know, like what?
Well, she's been practicing it, and she had to go see one herself to
Finn.
Yes, Finn, which which ended up being a whole thing. But she had to go see one herself to learn how to be.
Wasn't a whole ridiculous.
Yeah, but she's practicing on Elijah. Fine-tuning her craft even more. But she has to try to help him. And the whole point of bringing up the red door was because
later on,
yeah,
we find out about the Tatia thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I just, like you're saying, she's practicing on him. I don't know if I want anybody practicing on me. Like, let me try not to mess up your mind too much.
And at this point in her schooling, I think that she's actually is out there doing kind of clinicals where you are actually talking to people and doing it.
Huh.
Because you might not be fully graduated, but you still do, to a certain degree, get to work with people because that's the only way you're going to learn.
So you think she's more qualified than I think she is?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, I'll give it to her. Still a little bit of a snooze fest, but at least she's more qualified. Stay in school, kids.
It'll take you great places where you're counseling vampires.
Right. All right. So then we do finally get, as you said, T, the forgiveness level. So I don't know. Were you guys expecting these words to ever come out of Klaus's mouth? We've known Klaus now for, 5 years?
Guys, I was so excited when he said those words because it shows that he's growing as a character and he is still evil, but there is a side of him that is able to forgive and that you can change who you are and change your ways. And they always say that when you become a parent, that's when you start changing and forgiving people is easier and letting people go. I had some volleyball coaches who were real assholes. Sorry. And then they had kids, and all of a sudden it was all rainbows and butterflies everywhere. So I'm just saying, being a father.
Is that going to be the weakness, though? Is that going to make him lose his edge?
Maybe, but isn't it so great to watch?
I thought it was a beautiful moment.
Of course you did. All right, care to elaborate, Katie, with 3 E's Campbell?
I just thought it was so nice that he forgave him, and later on the phone he even said, I do forgive you. It wasn't just an act for Finn right there.
Was anybody suspicious at all, though? Because, we're talking about Tatia here. This isn't like I killed that random girl that we really liked that served our scooped our ice cream one summer. This is somebody that they both were head over heels for. He's like, all right, I forgive you.
Well, maybe the fact that they may be falling slowly in love with somebody else helps the fact that, not to mention that was hundreds of years ago.
And that Hope now has his heart, so he's more able and willing to forgive.
He's in love with his daughter. Is that what you're saying?
Aren't all dads in love with their daughters?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Come on. We all have our dads wrapped around our fingers. We know it. They know it.
When you say that they're falling in love with other people, obviously Elijah has a thing for Hayley right now, but when you're talking about Klaus, are you talking about Cammy?
Yeah, but I wouldn't really call that, not necessarily falling in love, but...
Or do you think he's still pining for Caroline?
I think he's slowly having that, at least friendship grow with Cammy. There's something building there, and then other people, see something with him and Hayley. I just think that, and Hope, all this stuff is occupying his heart right now, and that was hundreds of years ago.
I feel like, though, he cares about a lot of people at this point. Obviously, he cares about Hope. He cares about Hayley because it's the mother of his kid. Mm-hmm. He cares about Cammy because he thinks she's cute or whatever. He cares about Elijah. He cares about Rebecca. With Cole, it's on and off a little bit, and he cares about Marcel, and we get to see that in tonight's episode.
I was so happy to see that.
I know, me too. We find out very early on that Marcel's been bit. And
by Jarek, I think.
What is with this Jarek kid? What are we going to do about Jarek?
I don't know.
Let's talk about Jarek.
I think he's in the bayou right now, though.
Let's kill him.
Kill him dead.
Kill him dead. So he's been bit by Jarek, and he isn't telling anybody except for Klaus, because obviously, as we know from the past, he needs Klaus's blood. I'm certain to think they got to develop a different system for this. Like, what about people who aren't in New Orleans who are getting bit by wolves? Is there just no cure? Like,
Klaus's blood.
Is Klaus mailing blood or a day just all across the world? Are people writing him letters? Please send me your blood. Like, you know, come on. It's 2015. Use some chemicals and treat this thing. No?
I don't think that's a thing.
What's curing werewolf bites? Totally a thing.
Like, coming up with another way that's, like, more mass productive, I think is what you're trying to get at here.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah,
totally.
I don't think that is a thing that will ever happen in this world.
Okay.
Just throwing that one out
I think
there.
I could do it with my science degree. That's what's
From the University of Nowhere? Mm-hmm. Nowhere,
really
Minnesota,
great,
right?
Really great place to be. Yes. All right, so what happens here, though, he only tells Klaus, and then, this was the most bizarre part of the whole episode for me. The other two people that end up finding out are Josh and Gia. Josh, fine, we love Josh. He's been around for a while. He's cool. Gia, are you the most annoying girl on the planet?
Okay, this is the part that you got. This is why you guys weren't really like feeling
Sometimes
this
I didn't
episode.
vibe with the episode because I was like, Gia, shut up.
Yeah, she's just cranky pants because she's hungry.
Yeah, and I know that there's a thing called hangry because I
Yeah.
get it too sometimes, but I literally wrote in my notes, Gia needs to sit down, shut up, seriously, shut up.
Yeah.
She was
Why
on
did
my
they
last
do that to
nerve.
us? And then by the end of the episode, they expect us to like her again. But I'm like, listen.
No, it was annoying.
It's like she's been tested to her limit of, you know, if you can survive this hunger, you'll be a stronger person for it. Well, why don't you just listen and trust the guy who's been telling you? My biggest problem with Gia in this moment was I didn't understand.
You gotta get the Gia girl.
The Gia.
Yeah.
Sorry, did I call her Gia
Yeah,
again?
remember it's like
I have a-
Gia.
Yeah, I have a friend named Gia though, so it's very hard.
I know. It's a hard life.
But she keeps
You should try
saying
University of Nowhere.
she keeps saying that Marcel let them all down, and that's what I didn't understand. What does she mean? He let them down. He's still making everyone not eat. He's not eating, and he has a werewolf bite and is having hallucinations right now, and he's being the strongest person in the whole place. How's that letting you down as a leader?
I know. And then he even admitted, sorry, I let you down. I was like, wait, when did you let
Never.
them down?
Marcel, don't apologize for things you did not do to these selfish, obnoxious, rude people whose names don't even make sense.
But you know what was really interesting?
Fair.
You know what was interesting is at the end he said to her, no, it's okay because only the weak will just sit back and not say anything. But I thought that was strange.
I was baffled. Just truly baffled. It kind of reminded me when somebody, I'm just done with an argument, so I'm just like, all right, I'm sorry. That's what I feel like Marcel did, because you're sorry that you didn't tell them you were bit? It's not like they were in danger, you were in danger.
Yeah. What is that going to do if they know or don't know?
I don't know. And it's not like they're close with him. It's not like him not telling Camille or somebody, you know?
Yeah.
They're not close.
Well,
What do you mean, well?
in a vampire group sense, maybe.
He's like
but
their daddy.
yeah.
I guess.
their vampire
I don't
daddy.
know. This was just so strange for them to get this pissed, and then I get it, like you said, hangry, whatever. But it's been a day, and yeah, I've had to fast for a day before, and I know they have this curse on them that makes them extra hungry. And no, I've never craved blood, so I don't know what that's like. Just on some Tuesdays and random months. What? But honestly, it would have made more sense to me if it had been. You know, we've seen these vampires locked in cages, and they don't have a taste of blood for like 8 months or something. You know, they get like a tiny bit, whatever it is. Like we saw that with Enzo, and Enzo gave. If you guys remember from Vampire Diaries, Enzo gave Damon all of his blood for a year just so Damon could be strong enough to get out. Enzo didn't have a drop of blood for a full year. So like that's hunger. We know these vampires can go a long time.
Yeah.
I think that part of it is that these are still such new vampires
Right.
that they're having a harder time controlling it, because Enzo and Damon and everyone from the Vampire Diaries, they've been going for centuries without blood, or, you know,
Yeah.
controlling their level of how much they crave.
Another thing, too, I guess, is the fact that Cole was in there and he's got blood going through him, and that everybody's outside. Maybe that's making them
And Finn
crave it
spelled
more.
them. put a spell on them.
To make them crave it?
Yeah. So I guess all those things combined, but it's just so weird. And then they were doing this, like, their O faces almost. It was this weird, like,
Can you give us?
They're like, I'm really bummed.
I'm sorry, if you guys are listening to this, please go watch Roxy's face, because that was amazing, Roxy. More University of Nowhere?
Yeah, you know, they taught us really well. Hey, Steven, how are we going to cut out the last 5 minutes of this video? Thanks, buddy. No, honestly, it was strange to me. They were, like, looking at the door or looking at Cole and, like, doing this weird, almost, like, chanty, breathy, moany thing. I was like, you know, like Marcel said, it's just hunger. Get over it, you hangry people. All right, while we're seeing this, though, we're seeing something else that I found bizarre. The flashbacks. I kept waiting for... We always have these shows, this show, where we have the whole episode and we're getting flashbacks, and at the end, there's a direct message and a realization and a draw between the two things. With this one, we got this guy, Joe, and long story short, at the end of the war, Marcel ends up turning him and all the rest of the people so that they can fight. If that's the last time we see Joe, I really didn't need those flashbacks.
I think we might see him again. That's the only thing that I think would justify all of this backstory about the war. I don't know if it necessarily was just the fact that Marcel can lead.
I thought it was that because we've seen Joe before. Because isn't Joe the same one who when Marcel went to, and he was running that quiet little shop in the quarter, and he was going unnoticed by all the werewolves and vampires. This is like beginning of the season. And then they walk in and they're like, hey, you know, notice that you've been in the same shop, and it was our boy, Wolf Boy, who died.
Who? Wolf Boy.
Chase. Chase. Yeah. Oliver comes in, and like they chase him out of the quarter.
I remember that scene.
And then and that's Joe. It's the same Joe, right?
But then what's the point?
I thought it was a nice way to bring him back. At one point towards the end of the army flashbacks, Joe calls Marcel's son, which I thought was a little weird, a little
Klaus-like.
Yeah, because if anything, Marcel was leading him. Should be like dad, not son.
Well, he does turn him into a vampire.
But Joe's called Marcel's son. So he's like, we're not all of us are going to live, son.
Do you think that was almost more of a way for us to see how he had turned Joe?
I think it was like a little bit of a payoff, because they made it seem like we had known Joe at first. And then,
but Joe, I don't know if that's joke, because he was turned as a vampire. So isn't the guy that was at the shop, wasn't he older?
No, he was also he was a vampire in the quarter, but he was playing it off like he was his grandfather, and his father was like, oh, this has been passed down the generations of my family.
This is a total hashtag ABTV originals moment.
And everyone in the chat roll right now is saying that I'm right. So
you go T, get it girl, raise a roof, go Tiona.
I mean, you know, when I see a black face on the originals, I'm gonna remember it. Like, hey, you.
Oh yeah, you can name all the witches that we've seen in the past.
No.
So okay, I honestly, that's super fandom right there, because I remember exactly what you're talking about, but he was a guy in a shop that we saw, I felt like, for a couple of minutes. I didn't really remember.
And I remember it only because I remembered thinking, wow, why'd they introduce him to us just to kill him off so quickly?
Right.
And it seemed like him and Klaus had a very deep friendship, and he went to war with Klaus. And said this with Marcel, right. And said, you know, this isn't the first time. He said something along the lines of like, this isn't the first time we fought together. You know, we'll come out on the other side. So now it's making more sense why we see Marcel and Joe in the.
I still thought it was kind of a weird. Like, I didn't learn that much from it, but I guess it really worked for some people, and they wanted an explanation for what happened with Joe originally. Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, guess it worked for the chat roll, so it works for us here. Then with Marcel, what ends up happening is he is able to lead the troops, and he is able to get everybody to back off of Cole, and he does decide that once the wall breaks down that he's going to get everybody over the river, and they're going to go to his place where he's got mad blood because he's the king of blood, and finally they're going and they're hiking there and whatever it is, and he passes out.
Yeah.
which was like, oh man.
Oh man, you were so close.
Yeah, so close.
Was anyone else thinking why they weren't running? I understand that they're weak, but couldn't they have walked faster or more? They're fast vampires. They could have been moving a little swifter.
Shouldn't they, like, I Dream of Jeannie there? Like, you know, don't you want to just see them get there?
I guess they were that weak.
After the day?
Because we had just seen Marcel inside, you know, quickly moving Cole out of the way of all the vampires, locking him away. So there's still enough stored up strength where if I need to get somewhere, like if I have to go to the bathroom, I'm going to find all the energy in my body.
You're going to waddle?
I am going to get to that restroom within 5 seconds or else it's all coming out and it's over.
I get that.
So...
Amen.
I just feel like it's one of those urges where I need to get out of all this blood around me, so I'm going to suck up whatever energy I have left and get there.
They were looking like they had been walking for 100 days in the desert. You know what I mean? Like, I guess that's when you wouldn't be. Like, they were delirious. But somehow, they managed to get Marcel home, or Gia does it, and she, I don't know, did this redeem her at all for you guys?
No.
She just said it was too far gone for me. Maybe in future episodes, maybe she doesn't, we don't see this ugly color on her again. I just know, like, when girl wants a burger, get her a burger, because she doesn't have a good hangry side.
And he said she wasn't weak, but I thought she was weak when she kind of charged Cole before Cole passed out.
Yes. Josh kind of did too a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I was surprised to see.
But, I mean, we love Josh and we forgive him, and he wasn't being a total douche about the whole situation.
That's true. That's true. I also really wanted to see Klaus come to Marcel's rescue, and I wanted to see Klaus give his blood instead of Marcel just having a vial of it, because I was loving the Klaus-Marcel relationship tonight.
I wanted that to happen too, but even more so than that, I wanted, when Klaus and Davina were actually looking for everyone, I wanted Davina to stay a little more focused on her friend Marcel, who has a werewolf fight and needs Klaus, instead of seeing Cole and just starting to make out with him and completely forgetting about Marcel. Which, the kiss was great. It was awesome if you're all Covina and stuff, but I'm like, at the end of the day, girlfriend, Marcel has had your back since day one. We still don't know what Cole wants, and...
Yeah, it was a cute moment, but I agree.
I wanted her to be focused on him.
I gotta tell you, it's not that I disagree, it's that it wasn't on my mind at all. Like, I am so Colvina, it hurts. I love this kiss. I love this moment. I really just think, I see it in his face, he really likes her. He's not gonna burn her.
Well, he needs to learn how to not be selfish then, because he's got some ulterior motives.
Yeah, and what's better than falling in love to teach you not to be selfish, because he's in love with her and they're gonna be together forever, Katie.
He's gonna mess it up. They're really cute together, and I love them. I love it, and
You don't think they're endgame?
No.
This is
Unless she turns evil, which she already kind of is.
No.
She's kind of mean sometimes.
I thought it was
I don't like her
hilarious.
sometimes.
I loved her relationship with Klaus in this episode. I thought it was like the friend relationship situation, but how sarcastic they were.
That's what I asked you, because I know a lot of people love relationships like that, snippy relationships. Are there Klaus-Vina fans out there? Klauvinas? Like, are people who want Klaus and Davina to end up together? Because they've hated each other for so long now. I'm curious. That would be an interesting ship.
Let's ask the audience here. Does anyone want to see Davina
we phone
and
a friend?
Klaus? Can we phone a friend? Can I phone a friend? Mom, hello?
50-50. Yeah, I don't know. I think that could be interesting. But right now I'm loving Colvina. So I really, when she ran and leaped to him and made out with his face, I wasn't thinking, what about Marcel?
That's all I could think about, because in that moment we just seen him fall down. I know Klaus is looking for him, and I love that Klaus is back to being, we got to see Klaus go back to his roots of Marcel was his first child.
Right.
Before Hope, it was Marcel. And I was so happy to see them come back together in that way. And he's like, I'm going to get you my blood. I will do it.
Chills. It was his first child.
It was his first child, guys.
I know.
That's why I
loved this whole episode with Klaus, because it was him redeeming himself as a father in so many ways.
Wow.
It's really big.
That's why he didn't want him going to the war. He wanted them there with the family.
Yeah, that's true, but that was a little selfish.
Yeah.
But now he's grown. He's had 1,000 years to do it. No, I guess that was only 100 years ago. All right, well, I love to see the growth, and it's a good point you make. I can't believe that was his first kid. All right. Guys, we got...
Sorry.
Yeah. No, go.
XX Moon Star Kiss XX says that she ships, or he, sorry, I'm assuming, they ship Klaus and Davina as Clavina. Clavina.
It's so similar to Clavina. Clavina and Clavina.
Yeah, and people are saying that they ship them more as friends than a relationship couple.
Yeah,
but you know what I
see
learned?
Like a power friendship.
This is what my little sister taught me. Shipping just means like relationship, friendship, all of those things. So you could ship people as friends. Like you could ship a bromance, you could ship all different things. So it doesn't have to imply romantic tendencies.
Well, I want to say back to what Cole and Davina were talking about, putting Klaus away in a box. I wonder if this sarcastic relationship between Davina and Klaus is going to build into an actual friendship where she wouldn't want to do that anymore, and Cole still would.
That could be the great divide.
I don't want to see it though. The divide.
Because Klaus even told Davina at one point tonight, refocus your anger. I'm not the one who made this issue right now. It was Finn's doing, and even more so, it was a little bit of Cole's doing too, but he doesn't know that yet. So when he finds out, it's not going to be good news for Cole.
I think Cole has the best news coming for him, but that's just me. All right, so we have all of this storyline going on. It was all tied in together, and everybody was working together. And then we have just Hayley and Jackson, who are off in La La Land. And, I guess actually they had Aiden kind of jumping back and forth a little bit. He might have been the tie between. But anyway, Hayley and Jackson are going through with this marriage. What does that mean? They have a lot of stuff to do before they can be together. Part of that is, as we talked about, smoking the crack. What is it? Smoking the blue... calamus flower. So they go to see... she's meeting the family. This is a big deal. She's meeting the grandma. And these two, the grandma's known that Jackson and Hayley were going to end up together since Jackson was born. So you would think this would be this epic big moment. And Hayley's like, so nice to meet you. And she's like, all right, we got stuff to do. We don't got time for this right now.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, I kind of wanted her to say that, literally. Which was actually interesting. And this is a funny little thing we've got going on here. But what's interesting about all of this is, at first... I was thinking, I turned to Katie and I was like, what does she have to hide? She just told Jackson that she already hooked up with Elijah. That's not going to come out. And then I remembered, this isn't about a hookup.
Oh, this is about a baby that I didn't tell you about.
This is a life or death situation. That's why she's running full speed away. And then he somehow gets her to agree to it. He's like, well, just take it slow. How do you take being on truth serum slow? I'm confused.
He said that he was going to say his secrets first, which he said, I don't think you'll like what I have to say. So I'm really wondering
what his secrets are.
It's going to be like, I stuck gum under Miss Shaleski's desk in the fifth
always
grade.
The good boys who have the dark secrets, girl. Come on.
He has some
I don't know
secrets.
what this voice is all of a sudden.
Wait, you can't drop it. You got to keep going.
I don't know, girl. I think I lost it. But... deep, dark secrets are just so fun.
What just happened? Oh my God! What? All right, sure. Okay. Anyway, maybe that was your deep, dark secret coming out.
Wow. I will say that
serum.
The way you feel about Cole and Davina is how I am seriously feeling about Hayley and Jackson right now.
You love them?
I love them so much. He is so great and so awesome. And
are they Haxon or Jaylee?
Jaylee.
And Haxon's better.
No.
I like Jaylee.
Haxon kicks butt. Do they sound like Haxon?
No, not really.
Jaylee kind of rolls. You know?
Yeah.
It's Jaylee for life. Jaylee forever.
Oh.
But he made me really happy in this episode because he could tell she was freaking out, and clearly he has some secrets of his own, and I'm glad that hopefully we'll get to learn more about him because we don't actually know that much about Jackson, but he's so cute and so sweet, and he treats her so good.
Obsessed.
He is so sweet, and he says my battles are your battles and my everything go together. He's really sweet to her, but then earlier in the episode when he told her that they're just got to do some trials and it's not that big of a deal, I was thinking in my head, okay, maybe he's hiding something, maybe it's a big deal. I don't know.
He wouldn't be as willing to do this though if it was a huge deal, I feel like.
Well, he's trying to ease her into it, to get into it, and maybe as they're doing the trials it's going to be harder.
I just thought that was such a good moment, like you don't have to fight your demons alone and all of that, and I was just like, maybe somebody should say that to me.
That's what you were thinking?
Yeah, really. I had a selfish moment here. Like, what a panty peeler that would be. You know what I mean? Like, how just guys don't give speeches like that. So I feel like he's one of a kind. I love Elijah, but I can't picture Elijah ever giving a speech like that.
Yes.
You can?
Yeah. He loves her.
I feel like that's what he'd say, though. He'd be like, but I love you.
He loves her, but he's on board with this whole ritual because he wants...
Gotta save the wolves.
Yeah, and hope.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's kind of crazy right now.
But, like you said...
that was kind of it.
Needs a little guidance.
He's,
But she did some horrible things to him.
I mean, she did, but I
If
think
it's about saving hope, though, this might do the exact opposite of that.
But, I mean...
Well, no one knew that until now.
Is Elijah going to look at you and say, hey, girl, I don't get scared easy, and I don't run away from my problems? Or our problems.
I love that. I live for that.
Panty dropper right
that's
there.
what I'm saying.
You just do him in the bayou. Is this getting too
I know. I want to make out with his face.
Yes. I mean, just like...
I think his secrets are going to be something...
Like, what are you?
Like, he's
you
not
keep
really
saying
a wolf.
But like, what?
No,
he's
what
not
genre?
I'm not
pretending
Jackson.
to be Jackson.
I'm Jackson's twin brother, Jake.
Ooh.
Is this One Life to Live? like where did T's mind just go in the last 5 minutes? So many things. We talk about secrets, and all of a sudden she's flustered with all these things.
I just get so... I start blushing when I talk about Jackson, guys.
I get it. I mean, we don't know exactly what's going to come out. Clearly, I'm really excited for any episode that's got a bunch of secrets coming out. Mm-hmm. So on that note, let's get to some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
All right.
predictions.
So, Katie, this is what I was asking right before this, but any thoughts on, like, what exactly could be going on with Jackson in terms of whether it be a family thing he's hiding or, like, how many women he's slept with kind of thing?
I think it may, not necessarily that he's not Jackson, but something to do with family and the whole wolf thing. I don't know. I'm not really sure what it's going to be, but I know they're going to be secrets.
And any idea on what Hayley's secrets could be other than her kid?
I think it's just hope.
Just hope. Or maybe she's like, not only did I have sex with Elijah, but I liked it, or something.
She's probably going to say she's in love with him.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, that's probably going to come out.
Is Klaus going to get to her in time to stop her from coming out about hope?
I'm scared what Klaus is going to do to poor Grandma.
Oh.
If he gets there.
Oh, my God. Why'd you say that? It's like
he killed his own father. That's
like
why I said that.
Coming to Grandma's house.
Yeah, the big
He's gonna huff and he's gonna puff and he's gonna blow her right in.
Well, I think that she's going to be strong enough to know how to keep him out.
She did seem strong. I will say that. And then the other thing we've got going on is the Finn torturing Marcel. Marcel, who at this point doesn't know anything because he's been compelled not to, but did know something at some time. Is he gonna be where the crack is? And I mean, like the leak, not the crack, like the drugs. Because we talked a lot about drugs tonight, so just clarifying.
I'm thinking maybe he'll get it out of him and take the compulsion down. I know that Hope is going to get out.
Okay. All right.
Hope's gonna get out.
It sounds so bad. The other thing I just wanted to quickly say to you guys, though, is also kind of predictions, kind of news and gossip, but the role of Supergirl has been cast, and it wasn't Claire Holt, which means that do we think she will be back on the show more permanently ever, or are we not going to see her for a while? I mean, she's
really
in
miss
somebody
her.
else's body right now. I miss her too, always. She's one of my favorites.
Always and forever in here. Come back to us, Claire.
Always and forever. All right, any last minute predictions from you guys?
I think that it'll come out that maybe Jackson is somehow involved with how, I don't know, how Klaus and everyone ended up back in New Orleans. Like, his secret has to be big enough that he hasn't told Hayley yet, and it could ruin her opinion of him.
Okay. Katie, any last minute predictions?
It won't ruin my opinion of him, though.
Oh,
Never.
Of course not. All right, guys, where can they find you if they want to keep the conversation going throughout the week until we're here next week?
I am on Twitter and on Instagram at the Tiona Hobson, and thank you guys for chatting with me on the chat roll today. I think I was a little better this week, and next week I'll be even better.
You're hashtag blessed right now, because what happens to those comments afterwards is we don't get to read them, and you know what they're saying about us, and we'll never know.
I want to know.
Well, people said that they loved Roxy, that they loved loved Katie and that they loved me the most.
That's so weird.
Yeah, it's so weird. Everyone's like, Tiona's my favorite. Oh my God. I want to be your best friend. And I was like, oh my God, let's be besties.
Anyway, Katie, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Katie Campbell. That's Katie with 3 E's, and Instagram at Katie Campbell 13.
And just for clarification purposes, that's Katie with 3 E's and
Campbell.
then also Campbell.
Whole name, but 3 E's added onto the Katie.
And you guys can find me at Roxy Striar. You can find us at AfterBuzz TV at AfterBuzzTV.com. Or as always, you can go to YouTube.com/AfterBuzzTV, or you can find us on iTunes, or you can find us on SoundCloud. And seriously, it really helps us out if you go there, you give us 5 stars, you rate, comment, subscribe. We read all of your comments. We love hearing what you guys have to say. Make sure you tune in live next week on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. We love you guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.